Buzz YouTube, how's it going everybody? Got for y'all today a pretty good battle that I had at one of my most recent streams. As you can see, this is against Kyle, and I would actually get into talking about the team preview in a couple of seconds. But first off, I want to mention that I actually recently made a Twitter account for my YouTube channel, so I'll leave a link to my Twitter down in the description. You guys can feel free to follow me on that if you do have a Twitter. Ask me questions, tweet me, say hi, say what's up. I will gladly respond to you guys because I do want to be more interactive with y'all. And yeah, we'll also try to stream sometime soon. Actually, I might have streamed the day before because I'm not sure when I'll be uploading this, either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how things go. But yeah, if I haven't streamed by then, I will stream soon. If I have streamed by then I will stream again soon. Anyways, looking at team preview, my team consists of Sub SD Haxorus, Specially Defensive Gastrodon, Focus Sash Stealth Rocking Mamoswine, Sub Disable Gengar, Physical Defensive Chestnut, which is just such a monster and puts in a lot of work in this battle, and then finally off Physical Defensive Rotom Wash. Now looking at Kyle's team, I know you guys see that he has Shedinja and Tyranitar. Now, for those of you who do not know, there is this new item called Safety Goggles, which prevents the user from being hit by weather moves, which means his Shedinja would not be hit by the sandstorm, and he did confirm the fact that he had Safety Goggles on his Shedinja, which is why I didn't really find it odd that he had Shedinja along with Tyranitar. Although, looking at Heracross, if that is a Mega Heracross, that thing is going to be a major problem, so I really have to watch out for that. But yeah, I'm going to be leading off with my Haxorus, as he's going to be leading off with his Heracross. I thought he would lead off with the Shedinja, which is why I led off with my Haxorus, because I knew I could be able to easily set up a substitute on it and possibly force him to switch out. But because he led off with Heracross, I'm thinking, okay, I can easily outspeed this and then get off a huge hit with Outrage and easily live any other move that he wants to go for. But no, he's faster than me, and then he just knocks me out with Pin Missile. My first time using Haxorus, and it just died. So I'm going to bring in my Rotom, hoping that if he does have Bullet Seed I can live, but he ends up going straight for the Pin Missile, which confirms the fact that he probably does not have Bullet Seed, which I know I will be able to live Pin Missile, so I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. Luckily for me, my Rotom is well trained. I'm able to hit the Will-O-Wisp, and I'm going to be able to take any hit from this Mega Heracross now with my Chestnut, unless he has like a Rest Sleep Talk set going on here. I really have nothing to worry about it. So he's going to go for another Pin Missile as I bring in my Chestnut. I am max defense, max HP, which is why this Pin Missile is doing almost nothing, and he is also burned. So I'm going to stay in, thinking that maybe he would want to switch out, and I'm actually just going to go for the Leech Seed as he goes for the Aerial Ace. This does a lot less damage than I thought it would do for it being 4 times super effective. Then again, he is burned, but still, 4 times super effective. You would think that would do a lot of damage. Well, it doesn't really matter because I did get the Leech Seed off, which means if he really wants to, I will be able to outstall him eventually because he will be losing about 24% of his HP. So predicting him to switch out, I'm actually going to go for the Leech Seed again as I catch the incoming Gliscor. I was about to say Gligar. And then this turn I'm going to switch into my Gengar, thinking that he would go for the Toxic, but he predicts that and double switches into Tyranitar because there's literally no other reason why you would bring in a Tyranitar in on the Chestnut. So I make a very risky play and I hard switch directly into my Chestnut, because if he had gone for the Pursuit, my Gengar would have got knocked out. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I need to keep my Gligar around because I know that I will be able to 100% counter that Gliscor and possibly need it to beat it one-on-one later in the battle. So he went for the Crunch as I'm able to take it relatively well. I'm going to stay in and go for the Seed Bomb, which was a really stupid play on my part. What I should have done was honestly just gone for Leech Seed, or at least gone for Lair Spikes, but in the end Leech Seed should have been my #1 play to do, but for some reason I thought he would stay in. That was just, as I said, really stupid on my part, as I'm going to expect him to go for the Toxic and bring in my Rotom, and he goes for the Substitute, which I was actually kind of fearing a bit, because now if I do go for the rest, there's a chance I could be faster than him, which means even though I'll be brought back up to full HP and wake up with my Chesto Berry, I will still get hit by the Toxic. So predicting him to Toxic, I'm actually going to switch into my Gengar, as this turn he's going to go for the Protect on my Substitute, which is really great for me because now if he really wants to, I can play around Protect and eventually beat him one-on-one, although I highly doubt he is going to stay in. I'm just still going to go for the safe Shadow Ball, even if he brought in Tyranitar, my other offensive move is Sludge Bomb, which really would have done nothing to Tyranitar, so in the end it really didn't matter what I went for, but I do just end up going for the Shadow Ball as he decides to fodder off that Heracross, which is really good for me. Unfortunately though, he now gets a free switch into his Tyranitar, which at this point I still do not know is choice banded. So fearing the fact that he could break my substitute with Crunch and then knock me out with Pursuit, I decided to switch directly into my Chestnut. As he goes for the Crunch, he unfortunately does get the defense drop, which I completely ignored. I didn't see that he got the defense drop, which was really stupid on my part, because if I had seen this, I probably would have switched into my Rotom as fodder, then brought back in my Chestnut. But I decided to stay in and go for the Leech Seed, thinking he's going to switch out. But no, he stays in, predicts me 2 Leech Seed, goes for the Crunch, and I was wondering why this did so much damage, and then finally somebody told me that he did get the defense drop, which means if I stay in, he'll knock me out. And I'm thinking that the Spiky Shield is way too obvious, so I decided to switch into my Gastrodon, predicting him to bring in his Gliscor, predicting me to go for the Spiky Shield. But no, he predicts that, goes for the Crunch, and this is where it finally dawned on me that this Tyranitar is choice banded, which means my Chestnut is literally the #1 thing I have to take this on. At the amount of HP that I'm at, I'm hoping I will be able to live a Crunch in the combination of Sandstorm damage. So he goes for the Crunch, and yes, I'm able to live the Sandstorm recall, which is going to be really good for me, because now I can stay in, I can go for a Seed Bomb, I can go for a Leech Seed, or I can go for a Spiky Shield. But because I didn't go for Spiky Shield earlier when it was Chestnut against Tyranitar, I'm going to predict him to predict me to Spiky Shield, and I'm actually going to go for the Leech Seed as I'm able to catch an incoming Gliscor. This is really good for me because now I'm still going to be able to get back a good amount of HP, which means my Chestnut will be around longer for this battle. And much like before, I cannot leave in my Chestnut on this Gliscor because I can really do nothing to it. So I'm going to make the save switch back into my Gengar, hoping that he would go for the Toxic, thinking that I would predict him to bring in Tyranitar. But no, he actually switches into his Dragonite, which with him being in multi-skull range, I will not be able to do any kind of damage with Shadow Ball or Sludge Bomb. So what I'm going to do is predict him to Dragon Dance, and I'm going to bring in my Mamoswine, which is Focus Sash. So if you really wanted to stay in, I would be able to take any hit that he wants to go for, then knock him out with a combination of Icicle Crash or Ice Shard. Icicle Crash and Ice Shard, my bad. So he brings in the Blastoise, I miss my Icicle Crash, and then I switch into my Rotom, knowing that I can take Scald and possibly go for the rest. Unfortunately for me though, he does end up getting the burn, which kind of sucks. In the end, it really wasn't game changing, but it really would have been nice to keep around Rotom as a pivot. So I bring in my Chestnut, and I'm going to go for the C-Bomb. And judging for how much damage the C-Bomb did, I'm really confident in the fact that this Blastoise is max defense, max HP, because that's doing practically nothing. As he goes for the Toxic, he turns out to have the Protect, which really frustrated me because I do not want to get Toxic stalled. But I'm just going to constantly go for the Leech Seed as he does bring in the Gliscor. This is really good for me. So predicting him to go for the Substitute or go for the Protect, what I'm going to do is actually go for Layer Spikes. And you're going to see that this one little Layer Spikes is very, very crucial. So he's going to bring in Tyranitar. I know that I am faster than Tyranitar. Unfortunately though, because I do have Bulletproof and not Overgrow, the C-Bomb that I'm about to go for will not be able to knock him out. I can still get off a huge amount of damage though. So I go for the C-Bomb. He lives on around maybe 10% and is going to be able to knock me out with a Crunch, which now gives me a free switch into my Mamoswine. And if you have been paying attention through this battle, you're going to see that Mamoswine literally destroys the rest of his team thanks to that one layer of spikes. So I go for the Earthquake and I knock out Tyranitar. He's going to bring in the Blastoise, and thanks to the layer of spikes, I bring him down to a point where this Earthquake will be able to knock him out, which means with that one layer of spikes being up, his Shedinja will now die off to the entry hazard. So he brings in Gliscor. Luckily I am faster than him. I'm not going to miss the Icicle Crash, and I'm able to get rid of Gliscor. He is now going to bring in his Dragonite, and if he does end up outspeeding me, I still have my Focus Sash intact, which means I can live any one hit that he wants to go for, as I'm going to be able to easily knock him out with this Icicle Crash. And his last Pokemon at this point is that Shedinja, which I do have that one layer of spikes up, and is going to die off to the spikes, and that is going to be the victory in my favor. So yeah, that was definitely a fun, intense, good battle. That was one of the best X and Y Wi-Fi battles I've had. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to some more content. If you missed my previous upload, that should be playing on your screen right now. There should be an annotation right there. It was a PS Live, so you guys can click that and go watch that if you missed it. And I will be seeing you guys soon. So yeah, later everybody.